Stu, I don't know about this season 4 thing, man. I mean, we're getting bigger now. People are recognizing me at the job center. I have my nan listen to the show as well as my mom, and I just don't think I can take the pressure. It's all a little too much. Fame is such a high cost to pay, and I don't think I have the credit available.
Free beer?
Okay, yeah. Welcome to the Logs Points of View with Tom and Stu. I'm Tom. He's Stu. Say hello, Stu.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, guys, we're back again. The podcast with all the bees of a beer hive, brewski, bros, banter with an A, and bonfires. If you're wondering what that last one's for, that's to burn our undies tomorrow after another morning of malt-induced diarrhea. Happens a lot around here. Stu, baby, how are you?
Tom.
Yes?
Thirsty as usual. For beer, not for picks, but for beer.
Thirsty, this man. That's good, man. So I think you're gonna have your thirst quenched this evening because we have our first proper show this episode in line with the theme of this season. And that is each episode we're offering up a side of incredible interviews to go along with your multi-main. And on the menu tonight, we have a chat with beer master Mike Garrett, a TV superstar, but still humble enough to chat with a couple of goons like us. And we're going to be covering his personal beer recommendation, Thornbridge Jaipur, which I'm sure will have us rattling like a couple of kittens. Because the last part of the beer, yeah.
Right.
Last little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that tied in with.
Smooth.
Stu, let's jump right in for some mouth-to-mouth resuscitation with tonight's offering, if you don't mind.
Wait, are you saying we could drink beer now?
You can drink, but let the drinking commence, please. Yes.
Wait,
Stu, have you tried this one before?
I have. I had a tin of this at Christmas, and I wasn't too taken by it.
Ooh,
I thought
okay.
it was. I'm trying to remember if it was
You can
too
say
hoppy.
shit. It's okay. Don't worry. Mike's not listening, so
So
you won't break his heart.
I'm trying to think. Maybe it'll be better now. Who knows?
Frost, man.
But the little tin I had over the Christmas holidays didn't leave me wanting more.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to be impressed.
Well, as I say, fingers crossed, Matt. I cannot remember if I've had this. I've been told by numerous sources that I've tried this before, but I cannot remember it. So it's going to be kind of like a fresh one for me tonight, or a new beer for me tonight. Are you pouring?
I shall.
Go for it, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be too speedy with my mouth full. I'm going to give it a bit of time. Taking that smell. It smells good. It smells quite zingy.
It does. Actually, does have quite a fruity citrus smell to it.
Right, yo. Cheers, bud.
Hey, not as bad as before, actually.
It's okay. It's okay. Tastes like a proper classic Indian Pale Ale to me. Indian Pale Ale 101, with kind of an extra little bit of bite than you normally would have with a lot of standard IPAs.
5.9%. It's definitely better. It's kind of got that bitter aftertaste that always makes me think back to the kind of like a paracetamol.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to not think about that.
On the back lid.
Yeah, with that taste, it has got a little bit of extra bitterness, but I think I'm kind of into it. So yes, let me fill in the audience, our listeners, with what's happening with this beer. Yes, this is Jazzy Jaipur, standing at a feisty 5.9% from Thornbridge, a fairly newish independent brewery, founded by Jim Harrison and Simon Webster in 2005. They initially set up show at the grounds of Thornbridge Hall, an English country house in Derbyshire, But in 2009, they moved into a brand new brewery built at Riverside in Bakewell. Their output began when they recruited 2 young brewers to craft their initial beers, who for some reason are not named on the website at all, so that's nice of them.
It went well with them.
Apparently not. Their most well-known beer, arguably, is this, their India Pale Ale, and Cocoa Wonderland, the chocolate water, which I've seen about quite a bit.
Yeah, that you see that in Morrison's often enough.
Yeah, have not tried that one myself, but I think I probably will take a punt on that one quite soon. But yeah, they've tried their hand at a lot of other stuff with their back catalogue containing bitter, hairless, and interestingly enough, a Kolsch-style beer called Zara, which is a German style you don't see too often over here. It's like a lighter, creamier Pilsner. Which sounds fantastic, along with a lot of interesting seasonal beers. They do a lot of spirit barrel-aged beers too. So hop on their website and order yourself something nice for your engagement party or first day of school, whatever.
I could just see the postman rolling a barrel down the street.
Slipping that to the mailbox.
Fuck ordered this? Oh, my Cocoa Wonderland's arrived. Roll it around the back, boys.
That's one reason to sky for sure. Waiting for that bad boy to land. So, Stu, yeah, I think it's that time of the evening where we should fill each other in with what we've been sipping on this week. It's Last Beer's Watch. Woo! Stu, please. What have you been having a... Well, whichever, either one is acceptable. What have you been having a go on this week, dude?
I had a few beers last week, and there's been 2 standout brewskis.
Ooh!
I'm just having to tell you about.
Please let me know.
The first one came from the Scotland Beer 52 box.
Pleasant.
And and it's from a brewer we're no stranger to, West Breweries GPA
German Pale Ale. Yeah, you were talking about this one on the unboxing we did of our beer 52s. I was intrigued. Like, how did this one taste?
It was just like a light as a cloud, just crisp, just easy drinking a little beer.
Like more kind of bitter or hoppy or malty, or where was it?
Almost as if it was like a lager.
Interesting. Interesting. So I'm guessing it leans on the German pale lager side, or it's more a hybrid of that and pale ale.
That's it. It always seems Stans always seems to be like a German brewing style, but done in Scotland. I had quite a few now, thinking obviously that GPA was a first. The St. Mungo Hell's Lager was another. That was what we had on tap.
Beautiful lager, yeah, especially on draft.
Glasgow's most famous beer garden that we couldn't sit in. And
they saw us coming, I think, to be honest, boy. They're like, close that back now. Close it up.
And then at Christmas, I was gifted 4 tins of their 4 West, which was another style lager that they did.
So, more like a standard lager. Yeah.
I think it was just craft lager they pitched it as. So yeah, the German Pale Ale, lovely. And then on Saturday night, I decided it was like beer roulette. Just reach in the fridge, grab a tin, and it turned out to be cherry on top. Stuart Brewing's Black Forest Gateau Milk Stout.
How was this?
It was
interesting.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
Really?
It was 6.5%.
Okay, that would push it in the good direction.
It was either 5.5 or 6.5. But either way, I was pissed off of one can.
Perfect. Are you sure you're remembering this right?
So, yes, I don't mind lying down on the couch and struggling to get back up.
Struggling to breathe.
We're sitting watching the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just making really blunt, over-the-top reactions. That, he's dead. Oh no. fuck? Just being loud and silly and just laughing at the bloodshed.
I can't wait for our next cinema trip.
So
a treat to take, clearly.
So this Black Forest Gatto milk stout fucking worked its magic with me, and I was a giggling fool by the end of it.
What more can you ask for?
Yes.
Seriously.
This is why we drink. To forget who we are.
Oh, speak for yourself. I drink for the flavour. Okay.
Sure. Oh, it didn't need to be so audible.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavour there. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like it struggled.
Solid flavour.
So, young Thomas. Well, from the looks of you, you've had a couple this week.
I have had a couple this week, but I made this note for this next beer before I had those couple because we were meant to be recording on Friday. So I'm going to talk about that one.
Okay. Seamless, smooth transition.
I just think honesty is the best policy, Stu. So yeah, just the one for me. Sierra Nevada. Have you heard of this one?
Oh, this is a little green label.
Yeah.
India Pale Ale.
It's an APA, an American Pale Ale. And I see this one round a lot.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah, it's quite common. I really wanted to stretch my legs a little bit and try something I usually don't. Me not being a huge fan of the style. But I'd heard this one was really good. And yeah, it delivered in spades. I think it was one of the most well-balanced beers I've ever tried. Sweet maltiness, but citrus hoppiness. Bitter, but crisp. Refreshing. It was the full trifecta. And I think, like when I tried Adnam's Lighthouse last year, and with that I finally found a golden ale I really dug. With this one, I finally found an American Pale Ale I really like too. Big recommendation from me. I was very, very surprised in a good way, and I can definitely see this becoming kind of one of my usuals that I partake in for sure. I think it's quite pricey for what it is. Like, it's only kind of a little baby bottle.
Yeah.
But it is really, really good.
Quid. Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
It's always one of those ones you look and it's not got the most like maybe attractive or eye-catching artwork compared to all your sort of the craft beer you get nowadays,
Definitely.
where the art on the can is more important than maybe the content inside the tin.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about it.
Sierra Nevada?
Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like a traditional, old-fashioned type of beer.
It really does. It really does. It's got like a painting on it, and it's kind of hand drawn, and I think that's why it kept catching my eye. But I think the fact it was an APA was kind of putting me off. I was like, no, I'd rather stick with something else. But I think it's a bit of a hidden gem for sure.
You're the second person that's kind of has come out and said this is
come out of the closet and said,
like, wait a minute, this beer's actually really good. Looks can be deceiving.
For sure. But I think that, like you said, I think it's got a bit more of a laid back kind of vibe to it in terms of just the beer itself and the actual presentation of the artwork and the packaging and stuff. So no, definitely jump onto that if you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll definitely look out. By the time I've gone through my backlog of beer.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. I'm not complaining. It's a good problem to have. Very good problem to have. So yeah, we're gonna pause right here on this evening's merrymaking.
Or.
Oh, okay. Stu has something very crucial to say.
Final thoughts on the Jaipur?
I was going to
transition.
I was going to leave it after the transition because.
Okay, forget everything I've just said and start your line again.
Okay. I'm just feeling a bit of stress now. Okay, so
Just read the fucking lines.
So we're gonna do something. Something to do with editing. We're gonna pause right here, and
Start it again. I clapped over you.
Stop giving me the clap.
That's not the sound I wanted.
That's not good acoustics right there. So yes, via the wondrous, mysterious convenience of time travel, or it might just be editing. Stu said he's going to decide after we record. We bring to you, dear listener, our interview with Mr. Mike Garrett. Take it away, Tom and Stu. Right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've got a very special segment for you. We have superstar homebrewer and beer masters veteran Mike Garrett here to talk with us, talk about his time on the show and getting some kind of beer talk, if that's all right. Mike, how are you, bud? You okay?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad. I was really happy to have you here, bud. It's an honor. Glad to be finally chatting to you as well. We've got Stu's here as well. Stu. No, my co-host, Mr. Stuart Sutherland, is here to help me get into the nitty-gritty of how James Blunt is in real life. Mike's going to fill us in.
I will choose my words very carefully on that
one. And so, yeah, I mean, straight from the top, I think me and Stu are both very interested, Mike, is kind of how you initially got into craft beer and how did you meet your brewing partner, Richard?
Well, I mean, I, like a lot of people my sort of age, tried the sort of the kits back in the sort of the 80s and 90s, which were, they weren't brilliant. Let's just put it this way. And I think we've all made some pretty terrible beer from them. So I sort of left them alone for a bit. And then I was coming up for retirement from the fire service, and I was sort of looking for something to fill my time, and just got chatting with my wife and said, I fancy brewing some more beer again. So we went to a local homebrew shop with the intention of buying another kit because I'd heard they'd come on a long way. And, they had a rep in from Grainfather, and they were doing a demonstration day with free beer. So so booked to go on it, and my wife accidentally bought it for me for my anniversary present. So walked away with a brand new Grainfather, and that was it. Got to start brewing beer then. Yeah, had to learn right from scratch. So yeah, that's how I got into brewing that. And then on the back of that, I was out with Rich, who I know from the rugby club. He was one of our sponsors, and I was chairman at the time, and we were sort of just having a chat and talking over a beer and that. And he had this idea of restarting an old brewery that used to be in Poole called Dolphin Brewery. Back in the 50s, it got taken over by one of the big ones. I think it was Strong's of Romsey, which was tied into Marston's and things. And they literally bought it for their estates. So got rid of the brewery, kept all the pubs and that. And they had 50, 60 pubs in and around Dorset. And Rich's idea is he loves the history of. Rich doesn't brew himself, but loves the history of all of that. And used to, in fact, you can still find them now, bottles that get washed up in there because they were just dumped. The bottles were dumped off the quay in Poole, and whole bottles still get washed up now. On the beach, you can pick up bits of broken glass and things. So that's how I got in with him. We just sort of, like I said, over a beer, just decided that we might try brewing our own beer and try selling it. So
well, all the best ideas happen over a beer a lot of the time. This is why this show exists. So we've all got beer to thank for that. So did you have to invest in a new bathtub? Or was it all done in your shed back then? Whereabouts was it all done?
We started in the kitchen.
Started in the kitchen, yeah.
Started brewing in the kitchen, and wife very, very, very quickly got a little bit annoyed with that because the room stank of it for hours and hours afterwards, and always. I mean, unfortunately, it's a wooden floor, so we're being very, very careful not to spill anything. So we came to an agreement that I would build her a summer house down the garden, But before it became a summer house, it had to double as a brewery as well. So
of course, yeah.
So if you've watched the show Beer Masters, that's her summer house down the garden. So
brilliant!
Looks suspiciously like a brewery now.
A little bit, yeah.
So speaking of Beer Masters, obviously the show is on Amazon Prime, but what I'd like to know is how did you come to be involved with it in the first place?
That was completely by accident. I've been brewing down the brewery and I just finished and was just enjoying the late afternoon sunshine, sipping a beer, and thought I'd just check Facebook. And I was on one of the local brewers groups, flicking through, and there's an advert came up that said, and somebody said, "Has anybody seen this? Does anybody know anything about it?" And there was a link on there. So I had a quick look at it. And it was one of those sort of like clickbait ones, so you have to fill in the first page before you can see what the next page is. And I thought, so by the time I'd looked at every single question, I'd filled the whole application form in. And then the last thing was, can you send us a photograph? So I quickly took a photograph of me sat in the garden with a beer. Sent it off, and then I phoned Rich up and said I just entered us into a competition. And it was
a nice surprise for him.
It was a little bit of a shock. But we didn't hear anything for about a month, 6 weeks. So we just assumed there was I saw loads of other posts on Facebook saying, people have had their interviews, and somebody said, my partner's dropped out, does anybody else want to do it? And so we'd heard nothing. So then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we had a phone call. And then it was just this, do you mind, can you do a casting interview, which we did together over, obviously bear in mind, this is right in the middle of COVID and lockdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we did all the interviews over Skype and it just went from there. Got all the way through. It was quite funny because I was actually away working at the Glastonbury Festival site, and one of the interviews we did was with head of innovation at Stella, I think it is. And he was asking us, because part of it was a technical question, because up to that point they'd not tasted any of our beers, they didn't know whether to brew or not. I was trying to do a technical questionnaire with this guy over Zoom, and I'm stood in the field with Glastonbury Festival's main stage in the background. It was chucking it down with rain, and I'm trying to hold a conversation with somebody because it was the only time I could get away. So it was quite surreal.
So it was a bit of an on-site interview.
Yes.
For the job.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. It said each stage. I couldn't believe we'd got to that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they said that we were down to the last two, we were either going to be the reserve or in it. We just assumed that we were just the reserve. And then all of a sudden it all came through, and
brilliant.
Off we went.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean, how did that setup start? Did they come around your house with cameras, or was it initially you going to where everyone kind of got together and showcased the beers?
I think COVID threw a spanner in the works. The original plan of the show was they were going to go to everybody's hometown, go and visit a local brewery, visit their brewery, and so the teams would actually get to know each other beforehand. But obviously that was impossible with COVID.
Yeah.
So it was all done over Zoom to start with. We were given each one of the challenges came with a Zoom call with the person that was going to be involved with it. So obviously there was Stella. I don't want to, Stella and Triple Carmelite and Leffe. So I'd already met a lot of the guest judges beforehand. Over on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
And we got to chat with each other and got in fact, one evening I think we had a social, and it was just the 10 competitors online just chatting with a beer with the casting director, which was fantastic just to get to actually finally meet these people.
Yeah,
of course.
So that was how they did that, and then we were given each challenge via email, what the challenge was going to be. We had to develop our recipes and get them all sent back to them. Obviously, because of the way that the show was going to be done, they had to check that anything that we were going to do could be scaled. So, just in case the beer did win, they didn't want us to, have gold leaf in it and things that were just going to be impossible to do.
Yeah, of course.
In fact, we had one of our beers were rejected because one of the challenges is to brew a beer with a local ingredient or a local style. Obviously, Dorset doesn't have a style of beer. You know? We're not blessed with anything like that. So and we want to use something. We want to use coconut flower. Gorse flowers, because they smell of coconut. Because we've got lots of gorse around, and I knew you could brew with it, but they looked at it obviously on an industrial scale. To get that much amount of gorse flower was going to be impossible.
Right.
So that recipe got rejected, and so we had to rewrite that. It literally was rewrite the recipes till they turn around and say yes, you can proceed with that one. When that was all done, we were given a budget to go and buy everything we needed for it, and then the producer director came down with his camera and spent 12-14 days, I think he was with us. Stayed at the local hotel. We adopted him, actually. I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you obviously watched the show and that. He's the one that made Paul look absolutely stunning. I mean, some of his photography. I mean, it's mind blowing what he's done. So, he's made us look brilliant. So, but yeah, no, that was a very surreal experience, brewing with a camera constantly on you.
Mm-hmm. I bet. I mean, we didn't obviously. You see the show, you don't really kind of start to think how much preparation must go into it in terms of kind of okaying the kind of the budget and what you're going to use and things like that. I suppose obviously we only see the 5 episodes and we don't really have a bigger picture, so it's interesting to kind of get that from you, that kind of perspective on it.
It was a fascinating process, just as I said, to take it from an idea, having to develop the recipe, cost it all out, then go and actually get the stuff, make sure it's all ready. I mean, one of the things we want to put a cinnamon stick in one of them, but we couldn't get cinnamon sticks on the day, so we ended up using ground cinnamon. But luckily I had a catering pack in the cupboard and in the house, which was fortunate. And it's trying to remember all those things to make sure everything's in place. And then dealing with the mistakes you make.
Yeah, I suppose part of the experience, isn't it? But yeah, it was riveting to watch. How long was the filming for the show itself?
The actual show, I think we were in. We all managed to meet up for obviously the show. We were all COVID tested, and we all formed our own little bubble and that. Yeah. We were up there for about 10 days. I think we had. So it was the Friday and Saturday with the Sunday off, and then we did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the following week. So so sort of 9-10 days. Okay. It was full on, very intense. Yeah, you don't realise quite how much filming they do to get the 2 or 3 minutes of actual finished product. Yeah, it's taken all day to do. It was quite entertaining. Of course, you don't know what take when they've given out the results. Obviously, we've had to. You don't know which reaction you've got, whether that's the first reaction you've just been told, or that's the 4th or 5th take, or we know because obviously your reactions do change slightly. So, some of them are the original ones, some of them are the refilmed ones.
Could you be surprised again?
Yes. Can you be disappointed again?
So, well, that's the filming side of it. What about the brewing? Obviously, they got you to do 5 different styles of beer, but did you just have to brew back to back to back all these different types? How long did that take in total?
Casey was with us he was the cameraman, producer, director. I think it's his official title. He was with us for a good 2 weeks. Obviously each brew took a whole day to do. So he'd come around and sort of 8 o'clock, set everything up. We'd make sure so that we could reuse anything that we needed to. We always wore the same things every day, so we had to make sure that we've always got a black t-shirt. I'd always had a black t-shirt on, black shorts, so that if he filmed something on one day, of me looking at some grains or going, aren't these nice? That if it was the wrong day, it didn't matter. He cut that in. Sure. It matched them all up, so it didn't matter what we were wearing. So we'd get brewing about sort of 10 o'clock ish, and obviously, 5-6 hour brew would go through. But obviously, there were times that things would go wrong. I think they gave us. I think we were allocated 10 hours to do it, just in case anything went wrong.
Okay.
And you had to restart. Because I know the Belgian couple, Sven and Nicholas, on their first brew, I think they got some calculations wrong. I think they binned the whole lot and restarted again. And they were
Okay.
I don't know I think that bit did actually make it into the show. So so they had to they completely restarted their beer afresh, as it were.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite intense. So that was 6 days of filming there, and then we did the other bits at the rugby club. We did some bits down the beach. There was the barbecue that we had in the garden. That was another evening. He filmed all of that, and about 8 o'clock he said, "Right, filming goes off now. You're here to enjoy the party," and then, so it all stopped at that point.
That's awesome. Well, to get back to the beer, is there any specific? What was your kind of your favorite types of beer, kind of going into the show? Was there any that coming up that you were dreading, or ones that were coming up that you really fancied brewing because they were your favorite, having a go of?
So the thing is, because of the style of the program, they were all beers that we don't tend to brew. So I mean, obviously, lagers are quite a specialist, quite a tricky one to get right, and especially the challenge to brew 2 back-to-back identical.
The pilsners,
the 2 pilsners. That was really quite tricky, and obviously the high ABV ones as well. I mean, starting to build sort of Belgian quads or barley wines. I mean, we've done up to sort of 7-8%, but not up to. I mean, the last one of them was between 9 and 12. Yeah, those were quite challenges. So yeah, they were all I was a little bit nervous about them.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was also I was quite pleased, especially with the hard side hug that we did, the Belgian quad at 10. I think it came out at 10.1 in the end.
Yeah,
really, really pleased with that one. I've brewed that again since, so that's one of my favourites. That's gonna keep going, that one.
One to bring out at the barbecues.
Yeah. Quilts is a good one, that one.
That was the one. Obviously, that was your strong dark ale. I was so pleased for you because that one had like a troublesome brewing process, as I saw on the show, and it eventually led you to getting like the silver award for that episode. So I was like so chuffed to actually see there's a mishap. What could go wrong? And then everyone was like, "Kid, what? This is delicious."
Exactly what had gone wrong. I just was going to say so on the TV program. I think that's the one right at the end. I said, "When this camera's finished, we'll discuss whose fault this is."
Yes. That's like,
all that happened is the filter at the bottom of the grain powder, as Rich was stirring it, he just knocked it off. So it was just there was no filter in there. So luckily I had a spare grain powder knocking around, so we just transferred from one to the other and carried on. But it's a break in the process, and it's you don't want to be, but it made for good Jeopardy and good television. So
exactly, drama, yeah, definitely. You definitely felt like the underdogs at that point. Like we were really, really rooting for you. I wanted you to succeed, So it was good that it all turned out so good in the end. It was brilliant.
But yeah, and I was very, very pleased with that one. I mean, there was obviously a real risk putting cinnamon and things in it because I didn't realise it was only talking to I think it was Mika from Hertog Jan that traditionally cinnamon and cloves are used to cover up off flavors in beer. So basically, bad brewers used to use them to cover mistakes. Used in moderation, they can make some fantastic beers. But to a traditionalist, when he heard that I was putting cinnamon in it, he was panicking. But he was absolutely fantastic. I obviously I've never met him before the show, but his brewing ethos is just phenomenal. Yeah, he is just such a big man in presence when you speak to him and that. And he was very kind. He's offered it if we're ever over to actually pop in and to brew with him one day. So that's something definitely take on.
Awesome.
Okay, Mike, what have you learned from the show and that you are now putting into practice when it comes to brewing?
James was on about your dodgy pipes at one point. Have you sorted those out?
That. I think it was the preparation. I think we got very almost. relaxed in our brewing. That because we've done the same things over and over again. We used to brew the same beer time and time again. But when we were challenged to brew something different, it was the concentration. I think was let us down a couple of times. So, this get the process right, get it sorted out, get everything in place beforehand. I think it's the big thing that we learned from the show.
Was that your favourite part of the show, like being kind of tested in terms of the beer types and kind of going out your comfort area, or was it something else?
No. For me, it was being challenged to brew. Was brilliant. I mean, at the time, it was very, very daunting. It was there was a lot of trepidation and that. But once that was done, the actual filming in the studio was fun. Because we've done the hard work. We've been
more relaxed.
I mean what they called the serve challenges. I mean, we didn't know what they were going to be until the day, but I mean they were fillers, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
They were a bit of fun. They were filler bits. The actual challenge of brewing was amazing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering the parts, obviously, as you're saying, kind of maybe the fillerish parts with the, design the labels and design the kind of little bar area you did, and things like that. Was that stuff that was, I don't know, how did you feel about it? Was it kind of what you were not there to do, or was it kind of a little kind of interesting bonus?
I think it broke the day up. Because otherwise it could have been a very boring. I mean, I imagine watching it would have been very boring to only be watching us brew, and that. I think it possibly provided a little bit of light relief. I mean, the one that I enjoyed the most was the photograph, getting that. With the perspective.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, that was. I mean, the studio that we've done it in, that was actually the back alley leading to the studio where we, in North London, where we had the photograph taken, and just getting that all lined up, and just seeing how the process of doing advertising. I mean, it sort of opened our eyes a little bit more to it's not just you got a good beer to start with, but to actually be able to start selling it and things, you need packaging, you need some labels, you need it to look good, and you need an idea of where you're going with it. So
you saw it as all part of the process, the kind of brewing process.
I mean the etching of the glass was, I mean, that was fun to do, but there wasn't a great deal to do. In fact, we didn't actually get to etch our glass at all. That was done by somebody else.
Oh no!
They ran out of time. It was the bit I was really looking forward to doing, because I've always wanted to play with one.
Ruining the illusion now, Mike.
They did the first few, but they realised it was going to take more than this sort of hour and a half they'd allowed. So the guys just took it off and carried on doing it.
But saying that, the quintuplicate tumblers looked lovely.
We were asked to design the logo, but weren't told what the logo was going to be for. So we did a full colour logo. So that was the 5, and it had the light to dark grains in there with the head on it.
Right,
so as a picture, it looked fantastic. But then when we were told to go into monochrome, just black and or white on clear, it didn't. I don't feel it translated as well. Some of the other ones had a better. I mean, the glass was. I mean, when we saw the glass, it was perfect. It fitted the bottle and it fitted the beer style. Yeah, that was fun. But I was in. If we'd known what it was for, I think we could have done a better logo. But it was. I mean, it was good, but it could have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's these things you find out, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. As we're winding down now, this is the most important part of the whole interview, Mike. It's what everyone's going to be on their edge of their seats for. Have you got a beer recommendation for us? Something that's easy to track down, like something maybe from a local supermarket. What's your kind of go-to tipple in terms of beer?
My up till recently, favourite beer was always Thornbridge's Jaipur. Most amazing beer, and that's easy. You can get that in most places. Waitrose sell it and that, but that was fantastic. But I mean, if you can get it, Hertog Jan Grand Prestige. You're unlikely to get it in this country. I've been trying to get it, and it's import only. But that was the challenge from the strong Belgian. But if you can get that beer, that is stunning. Thornbridge's Jaipur. I think it's Fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen that one around.
What
Is it like an orange
beer
tin?
is that?
That's it. Yeah.
It's like an IPA.
Same sort of statue on it, which is in the grounds of Thornbridge Hall, I think it is. But yeah, Thornbridge is Jaipur. I mean, if you can get it, Jaipur X, which is their Jaipur, but at 10%.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like a good night waiting to happen.
Doing it, but yeah,
it sounds like an early night, Tom.
Yeah, for you and me, definitely. Thank you for that, Mike. Brilliant.
Not at all.
One thing before we go, Mike, I would love for you to kind of promote your social media, or if there's anything else you'd like to promote, because I do know you have this great presence on Instagram where you've been doing a great in-depth A to Z to home brewing, just kind of educating your newfound audience.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to look us up, it's Brewer by the Beach on Instagram. If you have a look for us there. Also look for Brewhouse 12, which is the new venture that myself and the family have sort of taken on. So Richard's still doing the very traditional best bitters and that with Dolphin. And I've gone on and I'm now taking some of the stuff we learned in the show. So I said at Brewhouse 12 on Instagram, look us up. Hopefully soon we should be able to sell online. The vagaries of the British licensing system have mean that because I brew at home, I'm not allowed to license my premises to sell alcohol even online. But I think we found a way around it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Farmers markets.
Thank God.
We can sell through farmers markets, and we already are, because they get their own premises license for the day. But to actually do it properly, I think we've worked out a way. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but just in case you don't know. And it's above board. It's legal and above board, which is great. So, but yeah, as I said, Brewhouse 12. Look us up and please support us. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, guys, do that. Get on that. Support Mike. And yeah, we really appreciate your time. We'd like to say, Mike, thank you for joining us. And one last thing to say would be, you was robbed. Well, maybe next go around, bud. Maybe next go around.
I'll let you into a little secret on the one that we got the silver medal for. Obviously, we came second to the beer that eventually won. And it literally was by 1 point. I was talking to the judges after, as they said, one was arguing for one was arguing for us. But I did know that the next day was the Stella Challenge, and I knew we'd had an absolute mare with that one. So I knew that was our last chance to get into the final. And it was like, I had to be really pleased that we got silver, but I knew deep down that was it. We were done. So, and then we had to sit through the final episode, knowing that we were
everyone else in the back.
Met some fantastic people.
I mean, you might have not got one in the final, but we definitely enjoyed watching your journey there, and it was fantastic stuff.
Cool. Well, hopefully we just bought a canning machine, so as soon as I've got some beer and some cans, we'll fire some up to you. So if you drop me an address, we'll get some sent up to you.
Oh, that'd be lovely. I would really love you. I really appreciate it.
Might be a couple of weeks yet, but yeah. Good.
Thank you. We'll wait. We'll see.
I'm going down now to stare at the letterbox and wait.
Well, yeah. That again. Thank you for your time, Mike. We really appreciate that. It's been a joy to watch you, watch the journey. We wish you all the best in the future. But yeah, keep in touch. That'd be brilliant. We'd love to kind of keep in touch with you and kind of see what you're up to. And any free beer going, we'll happily take that off your hands. So that's really lovely of you to offer that. Really appreciate that. Thank you. So that was fun. Lovely guy, but Mikey, boy, still waiting for those brews. Come on, man. I'm chomping at the bit. Maybe he didn't get our message in a bottle regarding postal addresses.
You mean all those bottles of Jaipur that are washing up on the Dorset shore haven't been found yet?
I think it was a good effort, but we really need to come up with a better way of contacting people, Stu.
Mm-hmm.
You're the PR guy? Come on.
Yeah. Anyway. You'll get the final product. This nice little podcast will be tied in a bow and sent in an email to our man Mike to thank him for his time. And he can choose to decide whether to support us or ignore us.
His time and his recommendation of this mighty fine brewski, which, it's rock solid. I think I like the fact it's a bit stronger than usual. It gives it like a little bit of an extra kick. It's quite bitter.
Yeah,
I like
definitely pale.
Like it's got a little bit of citrus there, but it's not as kind of zingy as a lot of IPAs are, which I like. It's a bit more kind of pulled back. So it's good, and it's got that crispness there to it. So I think, it's literally like a IPA 101, to be honest. Pretty perfect IPA. So I couldn't think of, anything that could be done to it to make it better. I think it's bang on. What about you?
Yeah, I could see it being as like a nice, reliable IPA.
For sure.
It was just easy drinking. It wasn't too much. Sometimes when it is too hazy and it just becomes a chore to sort of drink.
I agree.
This one, it starts off a little strong, but you kind of get accustomed to the taste, and then it just becomes smooth sailing straight to the bottom of the tumbler, and then you're wondering, fuck, this was only 330ml. I'm out.
Give me more. We hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we have, and we've only marginally enjoyed it, so I think that may be accomplishable. It's at the Lager Logs for our socials, but feel free to check out our glorious website, thelagerlogs.com, where everything we do is collected into a neat little package for you to enjoy. Still, we've got a YouTube. When, where, how, why, what, when. I said that one already. Sorry. Where.
Yeah.
Whom?
I mean, I've not tried it myself, but I'm sure if you type the Lager Logs into YouTube, you'll come across our channel. We're not famous enough to have our own discernible URL. You can't just type in youtube.com/the Lager Logs. No, you need at least 1,000 friends for that.
Soon.
As Tom said, go to thelagerlogs.com because the important videos will be posted on our website. So you can find them from there. Smash that like button, flick that little bell for subscription.
Click the bell, guys.
Yeah.
This is coming from Stu himself. Sage advice.
Nothing better when you hear that little ding ding go in your pocket and you wait, Tom and Stu. What are they looking at this week?
That's a good
Filthy
feeling.
buggers.
That's an underrated feeling, I think, personally. Do that, guys. Next week, we've got another scorcher for you to check out. We interview podcaster, teacher, comic writer, professional organizer, Jeff from the Brew Gooders, and we're pairing him with Vault Cities.
Yep.
Iron Brew beer. Once again, the Lager Logs have got it on lock. Ness, Scotland. See you then. Bon voyage, booze hounds. Say goodbye, Stu.
Goodbye. Just like that.
Well done, man. Jesus Christ, I think that's the shortest we've ever recorded. Should we actually take some time to drink this beer? Because I'm
done.
Really?
Yeah, so please drink the beer.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It is very quaffable.
No, it really is, man. It really
I need to find out what quaffable actually is.
Yeah, we keep using it, and we need to know what it means.
Quaffable is the sound you make before you throw up.
Love.
As you transition, Tim Allen transitions from man to dog in Shaq after several quaffs.
That was an unintended Tim Allen impression. Okay, look, I'm looking all right on it, so I'm gonna transition us back into the show.
Go for it.